Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Cincinnati Reds.
Welcome to Miami, Game 1 for the Reds and Marlins. Lone Depot Park, the scene. Two teams off to strong starts. That's not been the norm when Cincinnati and Miami have met. It's only the second time in the last 15 years each team has had a winning record. It also occurred in 2023. Two teams led by pitching. The offenses have been a bit different at the start. Welcome back to Reds Baseball. Alongside our closer, the Cowboy Jeff Brantley, I'm John Sadak. Jim Day is on the way in just a little bit, and these Reds are hot right now. They just swept away the Texas Rangers. Dive into it. How do you complete a sweep?
Well, number one, John, it is not easy at all. Sweeping 3 ball games, especially on the road in your first road trip, a lot of things have to come together. I think, number one, in that final ball game, you win 2 ball games early, everybody in your locker room is saying, okay, well, we've already won the series. Well, if you're the starting pitcher, you've got to be able to bring some renewed energy. I thought Chase Burns did that with extraordinary effort. I mean, he was excited, and I think it kind of changed the way that this club played as the game went on. He was emotional early, and I think that emotional energy really started to play into the position players.
Felt that aura. What's step 2?
Well, I think number one, once you get the opportunity to score, that was a really tight ball game. You get a chance to score, you've got to shorten up your swing. We saw that with Eugenio Suarez earlier. Not the big swing that we saw in the swing and miss early, but short, quick into the ball. Ellie, later in the ball game, instead of that big home run swing, he shortened it up and he went the other way. How about this hit? You got a second baseman playing up the middle, and he just takes the ball right through the right side of the infield. It scores a run from second base. And at that point, well, now it's up to your bullpen. But the problem that the Reds had in the third game is they had already used Pagan and Santillan and Ashcraft, so you've got to have guys that can lock it down at the end of the ball game, and that's not what they're used to doing. They're used to being in the 6th and the 7th inning, and I thought all 3 of these guys really came to the party. First major league save for Brock Burt. That is some kind of good feeling.
Live in Technicolor, that Wizard of Oz effect, the black and white bad, color good. The offense for the Marlins has been pretty piping so far, and that's the task for Brandon Williamson, trying to rebound from a shaky first start back from Tommy John.
Not a big home run offense, John. They grind out at bats. They're going to make you throw a lot of pitches, and they're going to push the ball in spots where you don't have defensive players. If you're Brandon Williamson, a lot of it is going to count on getting ahead in the count and making them chase.
Still to come, a couple of Reds with major Miami ties. Jim Day on the way for the connective tissue of Sal Stewart and Eugenio Suarez with the 305.
Since 1975.
Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare and the Young Family Cancer Center, a regional leader in cancer care. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For all Toyota offers, go to toyota.com. Back in Miami, and so is Eugenio Suarez. The scene recently where he became a Venezuelan hero. The game-winning hit in the championship of the World Baseball Classic. It happened in this stadium, and this is where he makes his home as well. So able to sleep in his own bed then, and able to sleep in his own bed during this series. And he was welcomed back with open arms to the local media before today's game. Same with Sal Stewart. He hails from Miami as well. And if you've ever been around Sal Stewart, I'm not sure anyone wears being from Miami more on his sleeve than Sal.
I was actually talking with my dad today. We did this drive, coming to watch Marlins games all the time, and we'd walk in from the outside, and it kind of felt weird coming to the stadium so early. Actually, people are gonna want to come watch me, or watch our team. So, yeah, man. I mean, since he's my family, but this is where I grew up, so it's in my blood, and everyone knows how much Miami means to me. So.
And he will have upwards of 150 or more friends and family in the stands, and they hope they watch the Reds' road rules continue.
The first roadie for the Reds starts deep in the heart of Texas. And that one is gone!
That got out of here on a snap of a finger.
That is gone! Wow. A go-ahead two-run homer for Tyler Stevenson.
There are not many that can run like Ellie De La Cruz.
6 scoreless from Red Lauder. He was ahead a lot. How did he make that play?
I don't know.
Struck him out! Pagan closes the door.
Jace Byrne. Oh my, is he fun to watch.
The first career save for Brock Burke. The Reds make it a clean sweep. 3-0 on the road to begin the year. Now the second road series for Tito Francona here at Lone Depot Park. Reds have won 3 straight, 6 of 8. When they score first, good things happen. They're 5-0 when the first run comes courtesy of the Reds. They'll try to get to Jansen Junk in the opening inning here in Miami. Gino Suarez firing the crew up, the 6-7 with Connor Phillips. Back at a ballpark where he made some noise on the international scene. Their full 9 from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. TJ Friedel got aboard twice yesterday. He has been working walks, had that and a hit yesterday. Matt McClain has been on base a lot. Ellie De La Cruz. Sal Stewart has been crushing, and he'll have nearly 200 friends and family members here today. Eugenio Suarez, Spencer Steer, Will Benson, time off the pine yesterday, his best game offensively of the season. Tyler Stevenson drilled a couple of outs in yesterday's finale. Key Brian Hayes, 2 of his 3 hits have come so far on this road trip. Reds looking for redemption against a man who throws a lot of breaking balls, Cowboy, rarely walks opponents, Jansen Junk.
Well, we'll see how much progress the Reds have made from one year to the next, because last July 7th, Jansen Junk in Cincinnati threw 6 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball. Have you made an adjustment? Have you changed the way that you hit? Do you know how to read this pitcher? We're about to find out.
The only hit came courtesy of Spencer Steer. The lone run was a sac fly by Tyler Stevenson. He's 30 years old. He had just 40 career major league innings before he signed with the Marlins as a minor league free agent February of last year.
Well, there are 3 different teams that let this fella go. And the Brewers were one of them, the Athletics were one of them, and the Angels were one of them. They just cut him loose. So it's not the first time that he's faced some adversity. But the Reds got to figure this guy out, because you got Alcantara tomorrow and you got Yuri Perez the following day. You got 2 of their best coming right back to back after tonight.
The defense that backs him up. Heriberto Hernandez, a former catcher in his DSL days in left. Marcy and Slater, briefly a Red. Sanoja at third. Otto Lopez flip-flopped at second base with Xavier Edwards later May last year, has taken a short well. Jimenez, Norby, and Augustine Ramirez, who the Reds should be able to run on. His pop time is terrible. It's a 207. The league has run all over him. He got run all over in the minors. Can the Reds get men on base against Jansen Junk? First pitch miss. Now, Friedel is 3 for 30 to begin his year, but has walked 7 times. Walks are hard to come by against Junk. Last year, Cowboy, he was 6-4, ERA just over 4. What he did best, barely more than 1 walk per 9. Among men with 110 innings, by far the lowest walk per 9 rate in the majors.
And the key to that was being able to throw both the slider and the changeup and get them over the plate with some semblance of consistency. He throws the slider and changeup more than he throws the fastball.
That'll be a running theme on this series. 2-1, hung a bit. Early turn, eludes the ball kid down there. Yeah, the Marlins as a staff throw a ton of breaking balls. By far the highest slider rate in the league. Just about everyone comes out throwing breaking balls.
Well, you'll see fastballs until somebody gets aboard, and then you're going to see a ton of the slider changeup combination once you get a base runner on the path.
2-2. Fought by Friedel. Now, Junk really likes to use the sweeper to righties. Against lefties, he leaned on the curve and the changeup, and both got hit last year by lefties. Hard ground ball is through. Base hit, TJ Friedel.
Well, last year, that fella right there was about as good of a table setter as you could ask for. And the Reds have got to get him back where he's feeling comfortable and being able to shoot the ball back up the box like that. Because when Friedel's getting on, the Reds are getting on the board.
We got on twice yesterday. Now Matt McClain, who had a key walk in the 8th inning yesterday, stole second, later came around to score what proved to be the difference-making run. Now the average doesn't mean a whole lot until you get to 100 plate appearances, but he's got 6 walks to go with his 8 hits. He's getting on base at a pretty good rate.
You know, I look at comfort in his timing at the plate. Last year it was only a few spurts that we ever saw Matt McLain comfortable at all at the plate. He looks comfortable not only in spring training, but looks comfortable at the beginning of the season as far as his timing is concerned. That's the pitch he's got to stay off of. The high fastball up around the hands, it's not a strike. It's not even close to a strike anymore now that we have moved into the era of the ABS. So that's a pitch you've got to tell yourself to lay off of.
Mighty swing 3-0. He takes, and that's ball 4.
See, last year, that's a pitch that McLain would swing at every single time. It's center cut in the plate. It's above the zone, and yet that's a pitch you end up popping up. But a lot of times, John, this pitch last year was called a strike. Over and over and over again, and that forces hitters up to the top of the zone. That zone is down a little bit now with ABS. Good take by McLain in that at bat.
If there's a pick to click for the Reds in this series, it's got to be Elly De La Cruz. He has hammered Miami lifetime, and there is no ballpark in baseball that he thrives in more than Lone Depot Park. He is a lifetime 467 hitter here.
And he's riding a 6-game hitting streak coming into tonight's ball game. Elly is one of those kinds of hitters. Folks, I know you realize it, but I'm going to tell you anyway, he can carry your club, especially in this park.
Had a couple of hits yesterday, drove in what proved to be the game winner. He had scored the run earlier in the game as well. One and one. Our Kia player profile. This is what he's done in Miami.
Oh, that's pretty nice. How about we start right there, right here?
Runner's fake, looked like a double steal. And that is line to right. Later break in, and it's caught on the fly. What a play by Austin Slater.
I didn't think he was going to get there. He got a late break on the ball, John. You saw it right away. He catches that at the shoelaces.
Just corralled by Slater. He had very brief time as a Red, just 8 games, 21 plate appearances a few years ago. Chopped by Stewart to third, hit the bag. Did he? Yes, for a force, and the bounce throw to first in time double play. I wasn't sure that Sanoa had clipped that bag, but an immediate call of out. The Reds are done to the first. Marlins 9. Austin Slater leads it off. Augustin Ramirez debuted against the Reds, and he clubbed in that first series last year. Marcy, Otto Lopez, Hernandez, Norby, Edwards has been connecting. .471 average, co-leads the show. Jimenez and Sanoja. Clayton McCullough's club has been producing runs. Just lost a series, avoided a sweep against the Yankees yesterday. Brandon Williamson comes out with a fastball that you think, Cowboy, is critical.
Yeah, I think his fastball sets up the cutter changeup combination. It's not like he has to throw a ton of them, but he's got to speed the eyes up at the top of the zone to use a pitch like that.
Now, the only Marlin who has ever seen, much less had success against Brandon Williamson, is Slater, who is 3 for 6 against him. 2 of those extra base hits, including a home run. This was the breakdown against the Pirates Tuesday for Williamson. Gave up 3 homers in that start. Gets a swing and miss. Nice changeup.
Changeup starts almost in the identical spot as the first curveball strike. It starts a little bit up and it has some fade down and away. Slater probably sees that as that additional curveball coming back to the zone, but by the time he swings, it's going the other direction.
Facing the powerful Augustin Ramirez, debuted against the Reds April 21st of last year. Showed an impressive combination of power and speed. He was 5 for 6, had 3 doubles. Some of those were hustle doubles. Barry Larkin said the first time he saw Ramirez in Cincinnati, saw a little bit of Pujols.
Yeah, he's a really tough guy to rush on the inside part of the plate. He's got some really quick hands. And ironically, most of those guys pull the ball foul. This kid doesn't. He keeps the ball fair down the left field line.
3-0. And a 4-pitch walk. Reds defense helping Williamson, Steer, Friedel, and Benson in the outfield. Hayes, De La Cruz, McLean, Stewart, and Stevenson. Infield is communicating now. Hand signals between McLean, De La Cruz, and Hayes. Jacob Marcy. Third straight game he's hitting third. He's normally a leadoff man. Marlins are down 2 of their more impact regular bats right now.
Well, Marcy is third in the lineup. He's really not hitting or batting third because he hasn't hit or batted very well at all lately. Now, this kid last year, that's why he's hitting third, because he did awfully well.
That hung, sent to right. Benson adjusts. A line drive out. They're down their all-star from last year, Kyle Stowers.
That guy killed us. He killed us last year. It seemed like anytime there was a big spot that came up, I remember him pinch hitting here and he hit a ball out the other way.
He is banged up. So is Christopher Morel, who was one of their free agent ads. That's part of why you're seeing Norby at first base this series. He's usually a third baseman. And Sanoha, who was a Gold Glove utility man last year, has been playing third base.
Yeah, that cutter right there from Brandon Williamson. If he can land that pitch here tonight, he's going to have a whole lot of fun. That is right on the edge of the plate. By the time it gets there, it's already carrying off the plate. It just clipped the inside corner.
Otto Lopez. Lopez, a versatile defender who was on the short list for best defensive second baseman until he and Xavier Edwards flip-flopped and Lopez became the shortstop later May last year. He's still a good shortstop, not as game-changing as he was at second. Change-up, man. These Marlins.
That is what we saw from Williamson in spring training. The cutter for a strike on the inside edge, and then he would follow it closer inside to speed the hitter up, and then he would land that changeup away. We did not see that in game 1 in Cincinnati.
Lopez known for his bat control. the B move from Williamson.
You know, I always wondered when I made a pick like that to first base, if the hitter at the plate caught sight of where the catcher was setting up on that previous pitch. And you look at the eyes of the hitter, it'll tell you whether they were looking in or not. Because on that pitch that Williamson picked to first, Stevenson was set up inside.
Now, Ramirez is not your average catcher. He had 16 steals, caught just 3 times last year.
I think he had 2 or 3 against us.
Down and in, appeal. He did not go.
Now here's the ticket. How confident, if you're Brandon Williamson, are you in your changeup right here? Because you've gone in, you got almost a full swing there. If you can land the changeup away here, you got him.
Runner goes, and it's fouled away, the cutter.
With a backdoor cutter, and it sailed on him.
Hayes plays deep, guards the line, some at third. Payoff again. Ramirez goes. Hard ground ball. McLean play at first. On time, on target.
It's a homecoming for him. Sal Stewart and Dane Myers, the former Marlin, between innings there. He was saluted on the big board, a tip of the cap, as he returns here to Lone Depot Park, and it's 4-game set. At some point he's going to be on the field and have that revenge against his former team factor.
Often seems to come up, right? Nathaniel Lowe had his shot at Texas.
You always want to do against your former team.
Eugenio Suarez, lined left field. Hernandez on the slide, brings it in.
Might have gotten over the top of that ball just a tad. Because I think if he centers it, it's gone. Ball looked like it had some topspin on it a little bit.
Third baseman Sanoha crashes in. Strike one to Spencer Steer. Little fitting, Sanoha became the first Marlins Gold Glover since 17. Did so as a utility man. Steer is the Reds' utility ace. And the last two men that we just showed there Heriberto Hernandez plays left field for the Marlins. When he first played pro ball in the Dominican Summer League, he was a catcher. Well, Dane Myers was actually drafted as a pitcher. He was drafted by the Tigers, suffered an arm injury. When he came back from injury, they converted him to the outfield. Marlins picked him up as a minor league Rule 5 pick, and the Reds acquired him in a trade for Ethan O'Donnell this offseason.
He may be one of the fastest pitchers of all time. He can flat pick him up and put him down.
Looking. First strikeout for Junk tonight.
Fastball splits the plate in half. I think Spencer probably thought that pitch was down. It wasn't down.
A couple of fairly quick outs. Will Benson began his year 2 for 15, then had a pinch hit double, went 2 for 2 yesterday, and taking the finale in Texas. Junk Cowboy works on the extreme first base side of the rubber.
And that's kind of unusual for a guy that throws as many breaking balls as he throws. But I think part of that being on the first base side is trying to keep that changeup on the plate. He has not thrown Benson a fastball here in this at bat. It's been slider, change. And my inclination would be that this is a fastball at the top of the zone.
There's a heater chip left side. Sanoha foul ground. Reds go in order. A moment this season with Reds.tv. Stream the entire season within the Reds territory for just $99.99. Watch games at home or on the go. Stay connected all year long. Subject to national exclusivities. Visit Reds.tv for details. Start streaming today. Lots of Reds gear down here in South Florida. Scoreless so far. Brandon Williams had worked around a walk, got a strikeout in the first inning. Heriberto Hernandez 3 for 23 to begin his year. Drills the first pitch to left. Caught on the lean by Spencer Steer. Good read.
A couple of balls that we have seen hit awfully hard here early that have just hung up. That ball appeared like it was going to dive to the turf, and it stayed up. for Spencer Steer and gave him just enough time to get underneath it.
Connor Norby.
Did you think that was a hit off the bat?
I did.
I did too.
I thought Ellie's was a hit off the bat. I thought Gino's was a hit off the bat. Each park is different.
I mean, Will Benson is playing about as shallow as you'll see. With a right-handed hitter at the plate.
Swing and a miss.
It's a nice changeup. Nice changeup.
That's what's been getting the most wild and inaccurate swings from these Marlins hitters. They are not close. They're not only out in front, they almost seem to see it closer to them than it is. Right field, there's Benson. Racing into the corner, adjusts. Able to bring that one in.
Well, when you're playing in as a right fielder with a right-handed hitter at the plate, you're hoping to take away the line drive that is shot that way. But the problem that you have is if a ball is hit over your head and then slicing to the corner, you got to get on your horse and get on it in a hurry. And Benson able to run that one down without any issue.
So here's the Marlins' hottest hitter, who is either hitting second or, as he is today, seventh very often, which is odd. It's not what he's done in the past. But he co-leads the majors, hitting .471. He has hit safely in 12 straight. He's been on base in 13 straight, going back to last year. There was a stretch later last year he seemed to be swinging for more slug, more power.
But normally that's just not the case. He just tries to stay right back up the middle. And when you're playing on turf and you can hit some hard ground balls, you can find a lot of hits right over the top of that mound. Of course, that's where Matt McLean is playing right now. He is almost right behind Williamson.
That changeup is filthy. And it seems to have a different, sometimes a true tumble, sometimes more of a softer fade away.
Yeah, I think as you go along in the ball game, you'll see more of that tumble and fade from Williamson.
Turns on this one to left field. That hangs for Steer. He's got all day. 1, 2, 3. In the way the Reds and Marlins score runs, very different. Only two teams in the show lean on bombs more than Cincinnati to score, while the Marlins hardly use it at all.
And this is not the greatest of parks to rely on the long ball because it is tough to hit it out of this joint.
The Reds have struggled to score in general, just 2.9 runs a game. Only the Giants have scored fewer runs per game. But there's a term that the stats folks use, regression to the mean. And it basically means over a long span of time, your true self will play through.
Is that kind of like sooner or later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Stevenson, high fly, center field. Now the Reds going back to 1901. It's only the third time they have started 6-3, scoring this few of runs in those first 9 games. Now, the pitching obviously is a huge part of that.
Reds have pitched awfully well here in the early going. Already have a couple of shutouts in the books.
Ke'Bryan Hayes, who had a base hit yesterday, 2 of his 3 hits on the young year came last series. And sails to right. Slater. Well, first time through, only 1 hit so far, and it was posted by the leadoff man T.J. Friedl, who turned on a fastball.
Well, the Reds had their first 2 batters aboard, but once you get that runner to second base, that's where the Reds have struggled. I mean, hitting with runners in scoring position has been almost non-existent.
Yeah, they've been the worst in the majors. And that's where the Marlins have thrived. It's part of why they're scoring more runs. They're top 5 with men in scoring position. And there's a little bit of luck factor to that in a small sample. That's why when you go under the hood, the Reds have hit the ball hard, and they've seen a good amount of strong defensive plays from the opponent. Probably the sequence that stands out the most to me, Brandon Lau, who's arguably the worst defender in baseball by most metrics, made 2 sensational plays in 1 game that beat the Reds with that defense.
But I think that there are times, especially against good pitching, you as a hitter, you have to be willing to take a hit. And that doesn't mean that you swing as hard as you can and try to pull it down the line and hit the furthest home run that's ever been recorded in Major League Baseball. You got to figure out a way to take what the pitcher's giving you and get a hit. That's why we were talking about that as we opened the ball game, because both Suarez and De La Cruz, they changed their swing in that spot in that final game in Texas to get those 2 runs on the board.
Yeah, Friedl skies this. Shallow right center. Jimenez. Reds go in order. 8 straight set down by Junk. April 25th. Fans in attendance receive a 2026 Hall of Fame induction fleece blanket thanks to PNC. While supplies last, get tickets now. Reds.com/tickets. Temperatures plummeted back home just in recent days, Cowboy.
It hadn't plummeted here.
No, it was up to almost 80 today. Thankfully, sunshine today, but it looks like
out by the pool and the beach. It is Miami weather for sure.
Jimenez fights off the cutter. So it's coming up on the tail end of first time through for Williamson. You like what you've seen in that cutter changeup combination?
I do. I love the changeup. He's got a great release point on it right now, and there it is as we speak. Nice play, Alan.
De La Cruz cuts down Jimenez, one away.
And I would imagine that as long as Williamson stays in this game and continues to pitch well, especially if the Reds can put a run on the board, it's going to push these Marlins to start having to look out over the plate, and that's when the cutter would actually play up.
Javier Sanoja asks for time.
If you're Brandon Williamson, you can throw that pitch to a right-handed batter on the first pitch of an at-bat and tell them it's coming, and they don't want to swing at it. You're automatically way ahead of the game. But you got to land it.
Now, utility man can be a term used generously at times. Sanoja truly fits it. What he did last year, he was on the mound 8 times, pitched 8 times, and played 7 positions: first, second, third, short, left, and center.
That would represent a pretty good athlete.
Chop to third. Hayes in between. Nice play. Gold Glover takes care of Gold Glover. 2 down.
That's why he's there. Picks it on the short hop. And you watch Keith Bryant here. No rush after the catch of the ball. Gets his feet set in that running formation. Throws right on the money.
Austin Slater.
All day long. Or in this case, all night long.
Free runner helps with that. 0-2. Time called by Slater. Bye-bye, Preppy. 1, 2, 3. The Reds base running a big focus this year. Matt McLain might be the best on the team. What is he looking for out there? Let's take a day break.
All right, we're on second base. We're going second to home here. Terry Francona always talks about you being a good base runner, very instinctual. What makes you that? What's your thought process when you're on second base right here?
That I want to score, first of all. But I think the most important thing is knowing where the fielders are, knowing who's up. Is it a lefty? Is it a righty? Is it Ellie? Is it Steer? Because the shortstop's going to play in a different spot. Knowing how many outs there are and knowing where the outfielders are. You got to check them every single pitch. With 2 strikes, they make adjustments. So it's just about being ahead of the game so you can slow it down. But after that, you know, it's once you know where the fielders are, you know how many outs, it's about getting a big lead. Can I steal third on this guy? Can I not steal third on this guy? And the outfield arms, obviously, is very important.
How much are instincts? I mean, you just ran through it, and that's textbook. but how much do you just have to use your baseball instincts?
Yeah, I think slowing the game down and knowing all that stuff allows me to use my instincts. Hey, the right fielder's shallow, a righty's up at the plate, there's 2 strikes, right fielder's shallow. You know, the little blooper in there, he might catch it. So, you know, you got to get part way off. But I'm trying to touch home as many times as I can per year for the team. You know, it helps the team every time we touch home. So it's knowing that stuff is part of being a good teammate.
And pride of being an all-around baseball player, right? How much does that comes into play?
Exactly, a lot. You know, it's base running is kind of a character thing. You know, it's easy to take for granted. You know, you hit a ball in the gap, you just hit a ball in the gap, and now you're standing on second. You know, you still got to go home. You know, it's about the team, it's not about you. So that kind of mentality takes things a long way.
He is not too good for his home. I appreciate that, Matt, letting us in to the mindset there. He's the last Red to reach, and first pitch here, Junk gets him to pop it up. Jimenez. Each starter has faced 1 over the minimum so far.
Really heady player, Matt McLain, very intelligent, and that's part of the reason that you should pull for this kid as a Reds fan, because if he's hitting, it allows him the freedom to be able to share that information more so with his teammates. When things are going good, then you could talk, especially as a young player. When it's not going good, you just feel like, okay, well, I can't go and tell Sal Stewart or Ellie to do this or do that. You know, you want him to do well because his intelligence is way up there.
Ellie De La Cruz is lined to right. Ball that hung just enough, and Austin Slater, who got a slower start, was able to make the shoe top grab. Hard ground ball past the backhand dive of Jimenez. De La Cruz eyeing 2. He tries for 2. The throw to second is Lee. Hustle double for Ellie De La Cruz.
Third base coach Willie Harris and I were talking about this on the plane. Ellie, a different gear when he is in motion. It's almost as though he goes from first to second base in seemingly about 4 strides. When you have that kind of player, it's a different mechanism when you're in the third base coaching box.
So how aggressive might the Reds be on a send? Chance with De La Cruz in scoring position. Sal Stewart, 1 pitch. Top to double play ball to third. Big swing at another first pitch slider is strike 1. Got a right-handed hurler who throws a lot of breaking balls, period, that spikes against righties. And he's got to know the eagerness of Stewart in this matchup. Back-to-back breaking balls. Now the Reds dead last in the big leagues with men in scoring position. They're hitting 164. And Stewart has not seen a fastball yet. Now you had mentioned McLain first time through, laying off that elevated fastball. We did see Stewart offer swings at some elevated heat. De La Cruz fakes.
And I think part of that, John, is you get a runner in scoring position. Look, all those guys in that first base dugout, they know they're not hitting like they should with runners in scoring position. That's not a secret. So you try to do a little bit too much. You try to expand the zone too much. And you swing at that pitch that's up there. It looks good.
De La Cruz takes off. That's line throw, base hit. De La Cruz can walk home. Back in his hometown, Sal Stewart smokes a single. That plates De La Cruz. 1-0 Cincinnati.
2-strike hitting. We saw this all spring training with Sal Stewart. Watch the hands here. Really get inside the baseball and shoots it right back up the box. That's about as squaring up the baseball as you can do it.
The only fastball that he got in the AB, and it's not hard to find his friends and family. It was the nearly 200 folks that got up. Stewart takes off, pitch tailed away, throw down is not in time. Stewart's in. He gets the steal of second, the second swipe on his young career.
I think the collision with the second baseman Edwards may very well have jarred the ball loose.
Just squirted free there.
Because if Edwards catches that ball, he's out at second base.
Heck of a job to keep his cleat on the bag. Now he's in scoring position. Suarez lined to left his first time. To third, backhand. Stewart in between. Throw to first. A little offline. Dropped! And Suarez saves. Stewart takes off. Throw goes to third, and he is out. Got too aggressive there.
That's when that heart rate gets just a little too high.
I mean, Stewart was the influence in the bad throw by Sanoha. Definitely caught his attention there. And then he's trying to make a play, but that's just a bit too greedy. Major league player should be able to make that throw. Got him on the tag. Now Spencer Steer. He struck out looking his first time. Now scored E5 that allowed Suarez to reach. Bounce to Sanoha, backhand, longer throw to first. Got it. Reds get a run. De La Cruz doubles. Stewart brings him home. Stewart. Reds have cracked the scoreboard. So some help for Brandon Williamson, who has set down 8 straight. The only man to reach so far, Augustin Ramirez, walked on 4 his first time. And still has not yet seen a strike tonight. Curveball way out in front. Flared beyond short. De La Cruz has it red. And Sal Stewart able to present some souvenirs to friends and family that are here. That big broad smile, and it's got almost 200 folks here in the crowd tonight. Had his own media availability before the game. Marcy has lined to right. Lines that to center, read by Friedel.
But in a ballpark that usually fly balls go to die in the outfield, the ball is hanging up. Those line drives, they're probably down in most places, and they're just hanging into the air. Great for the defensive side, bad for the hitter.
Otto Lopez has bounced to second. It was homers that injured Williamson on Tuesday, but it was his first time pitching in a pro game since September of 2024, coming off of Tommy John. It was back-to-back jacks during a 5-run second that snowballed action in a heartbeat. But Williamson came through it, stretching out his pitch count a decent amount, and said the arm felt great. He had no issues with that. And we had asked the coaching staff what the bullpen was like getting ready for this start, and Terry Francona said he and Derek Johnson, the Reds pitching coach, had talked about it, and it was one of his better bullpens. In fact, most going back to the start of spring training have largely been very strong. And Williamson has been grabbing at the back of his neck this inning. Stevenson out for a conversation. He's just looked a little uncomfortable. Not sure if that's attack philosophy.
Maybe just trying to get some moisture on those fingers.
It's usually not an issue in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Two topped foul.
You throw as many changeups for a strike as what we have seen from Williamson. That's why you get a chase there from Otto Lopez. That pitch was well up and out of the strike zone. He was taking no chances.
Just missed on the sinker. That was the first true fastball of this AB. Payoff to third. Hayes off the edge of his glove. Lopez rounds first. It holds. His steer scoops and throws in. That was hit at 105.
Like a cutter that was in the middle of the plate. Didn't catch it on the barrel, but still hit the ball hard. Like it had quite a bit of top spin. It just took off as Hayes lunged for it to his left.
Hernandez has lined to left. Yeah, you don't often see a more stabbing grab because that spin made that bounce so pronounced. Immediate chance to to rectify. In every home game, if a Red hits the Toyota Hit and Win sign, one lucky fan wins a new built-in-the-USA Toyota Tundra. Register for the Tundra Home Run Challenge and your chance at any Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. First pitch, Will Benson fouls off a strike. He has foul popped to third. The Marlins and the Rockies, both teams influenced by the former Reds assistant pitching coach Alon Leishman, are the two teams in the show that are known right now to be calling pitches from their respective dugouts.
And seems to be calling them with hand signals.
Yeah, there's a number signal that is relayed from the dugout.
And this is in an era where we're not even giving hand signals from the catcher to the pitcher, but yet we're giving them from the dugout to the catcher.
Appeal, he went. That'll be strike three. And there's a wristband that the catcher has, much like a quarterback looking at a cheat sheet on a football field. There it is. And so based on the number that comes from the dugout, he interprets off that band what pitch that is.
That actually looks like the USA Today crossword on his left wrist. It's just a different color. Maybe he's colored in the words that he's got.
You have 11 down. Tyler Stevenson has flied to center. Now, Alon Leishman had the same role here with the Marlins that he served with Cincinnati. He's now the head pitching coach with the Rockies. Broken bat up the middle. Jimenez. And a big part of it is Augustine Ramirez, who is still apprenticing behind the plate. And Carlos Rodon of the Yankees. Yankees were Ramirez's, by the way, original major league team. That's who he first came up with as a pro. Was highly critical, mostly about what it would mean for Ramirez when he becomes a free agent. How is that going to injure his candidacy if he never called a game?
Kills him.
Brian Hayes, deep center.
We'll talk about that some more in a minute.
1, 2, 3. I need help with 3 across.
When Sal Stewart made his Major League debut, boy, was it a big day for the Stewart family. He has returned to his roots here in Miami, and it's another big day for the Stewart family. I am with Big Sal, his father, and how many people do you have here tonight?
We have about over 300 people here. We have friends, family, coaches. We have everyone here that's supporting him.
Well, you're going to have to ice your arms because I've never seen more high fives from you, people coming up hugging you. How special is this?
It's so special. It really is. I mean, I'm sitting here and I can't believe that this is happening. I'm so happy for him and happy for the family. Oh, let's go. Let's go. There you go. There you go. It's important for the family, my daughter and my wife, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Now, Sal has talked about coming to this park and watching games, but now coming here and looking out and seeing your son on this field, what are the emotions? Besides, I know it's special, but what are some of the emotions going through you right now?
So right before the game, I was looking at the phone, and when it was 12U, he was in a home run derby right here, and I was just looking at it, and I just had chills. To sit here and now it's all come true for him. So we're super excited and super happy for this, and to see everyone here celebrating him, it's just, I have no words for it. I'm so proud of him, and I'm happy for him. God bless him.
Now, you said that he's got not only baseball coaches here, he's got high school basketball coaches here, youth coaches. Give us the amount or different types of people that have affected his life that are here tonight.
So we have a gentleman in the front who coached him when he was 5 and 6-year-old basketball. We have his high school coach right here who was an amazing person, really took care of him throughout his 4 years of high school. We're very close. We have Pacheco here, which is his role model. And then we have a couple of the baseball coaches right behind home plate. It's just unreal. Unreal. He's had so many good people around him, and everyone wants to see him succeed, which is what makes me happy, that everyone just wants to help him.
Now, we found out in a quick amount of time that he is the ultimate competitor, and he is as confident of a player as I've ever seen at a young age. Does he get that from you? Where does he get it?
Listen, the Stewart family is very competitive. You should have seen some of those ping pong tournaments and basketball games in the gym. It just comes with us, man. We just like to compete.
Yeah.
And I always told him, I said, as long as you give full effort, we're good.
Now, when he made his Major League debut, it was quite the party in Cincinnati. You guys are whooping it up here. I mean, we haven't scored any runs yet. We got one run on the board, got an RBI, but...
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go. That boy can move. He's fast.
So, lost 26 pounds.
He worked hard this offseason, I'm telling you. He got up early every day. He watched what he was eating. He worked hard, and there's the result right here.
All right, what do you think of these Sal on these cards here? That's right behind your head here. What do you think of this?
Now they just want to mess with me right now. This is, you made me cry in Cincinnati, and now look what you're doing to me here. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
You earned every tear, you earned every smile, and every cheer. That is Sal Stewart's dad. Congratulations. You guys enjoyed this.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We really are enjoying this. Thank you.
All right, John. Happy group down here.
Well, thank you, Jim, and kind thanks to Sal Sr. Every time I saw him, Cowboy, you're nodding your head watching that video. You probably had the same conversation. I feel like every time I saw Sal Sr. after a home game last year when Sal was up, he was always so full of joy, surrounded by extended family, and was also ruining that he cried on TV. He loves his son, but he's, I got so much guff from so many people.
Oh, yeah.
But you can feel it. It's real.
Look, when it's your boy out there, it's a whole different daddy.
It was deflected by Williamson. McLean stays with it.
Play.
1-4-3.
Oh, Matt McLean got on it. He showed his arm strength there.
Sal Stewart made a couple of plays on the inning from Westminster Christian, about 18 miles away, to the big leagues on the field. He's knocked in the game's only run. Walked it off, swing and miss, strike one. It's a 1-0 Reds lead. Reds have 3 of the game's 4 hits. That includes a leadoff knock by Friedl to begin the game. Both Junk and Williamson, when they've missed tonight, Cowboy, a lot of misses down.
That's where you want to miss. You don't, if you're a sinker ball, breaking ball, change-up kind of pitcher, you don't want to be missing up around the belt. That's where you get hurt. If your concentration is to catch the bottom of the zone, you can locate across the bottom, even if the pitch is in the middle of the plate. As long as it's down, it may get hit hard, but it might very well be right at an outfielder.
Change up gets the strikeout.
We've seen several of those tonight. And the key of missing down, John, plays back to that changeup that we saw from Junk and also the changeups that we've seen from Williamson. If you're always looking down and every pitch is missing down, they all begin to look the same. So you start to chase maybe a pitch that's underneath the strike zone, as you saw Friedl do there, and we've already seen that several times from the Marlins hitters.
McLean made a very nice play, backing up Williamson to end last half inning. Pops this up. Just now drops the bat. Ramirez in foul ground.
See, that's a ball that the first baseman, if it's a normal first baseman, I realize that Connor Norby usually plays third base, but he should know that's a ball he should take. You got a guy that's a catcher running out there with all that equipment on, and he's got a pancake in his left hand, and you've got a glove. That's a call off for a first baseman. It should be every time, all the time.
Ellie De La Cruz has doubled, scored. He is lined out to right.
He's hit the ball well both times at the plate here tonight.
We have not seen Norby tested at first base on a hard ground ball yet. That's sent to left. Good break coming in. Dive traps it for Hernandez. Able to keep it in front of him, but De La Cruz has a second straight multi-hit game.
I would say, John, that it's very safe to say that Ellie De La Cruz has gotten off to quite a hot start here in 2026. And he really hasn't even gotten into power mode yet. I mean, he's hitting the ball from line to line. That to me tells me that there's more danger to come in the bat of Ellie De La Cruz, and that danger comes long and far.
Sal Stewart, RBI hit his last time. Now, the RBI hit came on the only fastball he has seen so far from Junk, who, true to his scouting report, has been north of 50% breaking ball tonight. But now with De La Cruz at first base, does that change things in a one-run game? Because the pitch that Junk loves to use right on right is that sweeper. That's a very slow breaking ball. Not a great blocking catcher, and one of the great running threats in the game at first base. Slider popped up. Sanoa. 2-out man stranded. makes very few base runners for Brandon Williamson.
I think he's been awfully good here tonight. This is the pitcher that we saw in spring training. Even the balls that have been hit hard, and there have only been a few of those, they've been right at either an infielder or an outfielder. He's had the Marlins off balance with that changeup from the get-go.
One hit, one walk. Still at an efficient 65 pitches. Begins the 6th against Sanoha. First pitch ground ball, McLean. That wraps up second time through for Williamson. Greatest test came in that first. That's when he walked Ramirez.
And I think you look at those numbers there, you can kind of give a little leeway in the first inning, just trying to get used to the mound, get yourself set, get through a little bit of those adrenaline moments in the first inning. But after that, he's been about as pitch efficient as you could ask for any pitcher.
That's where the Reds have been carried by their pitching so far. They're trying to go to 6-0 when they score first. And a big reason for that, only 4 teams in the majors began the day with a better ERA. The Braves, Yankees, Mets, Mariners. End of list. And the only outlier in terms of runs allowed on the first turn of the rotation was Williamson, who was snapped back to that form here tonight.
Oh, I don't think that you can give enough credit to Derek Johnson and his pitching staff for their game planning efforts here in the early going. I mean, no Hunter Green, no Nick Lodolo, and besides Andrew, that's your top 2 guys, and they haven't picked up a ball and may not pick up a ball for a while, and yet you've already put 2 shutouts in the book, and your team is not hitting with runners in scoring position. They're not scoring runs, but the team is winning because the opponent can't get on the board.
De La Cruz. Jim Day, what is the latest on Lodolo?
Well, John, we told you yesterday he threw with the plyo ball, and that's a ball without seams. Not a lot of friction there. He threw a baseball today. Now, I know that sounds like, oh, well, I hope he threw a baseball. It's actually a big step. He didn't throw long toss. He didn't throw off the mound. He just kind of threw. Reported no problems to me right before the game. So he is making progress. Here he is afterwards, and they're always checking out that finger. He says tomorrow he's going to throw again with the baseball. A little bit more long toss tomorrow.
Ramirez to right. Benson going back. Track. Leaps at the wall. It's off the top of the wall. That's in the yard. Ramirez sprinting for second. Benson fires. Ramirez to third. The throw is late. A triple for Augustine Ramirez. The tippy top of the pad keeps the Reds ahead.
Well, thank goodness from a Reds standpoint that wall is a bit taller in that area of the bullpen. Otherwise, this game is tied. I mean, Benson can jump, but there is nobody jumping that high to get to that ball. Where this ball hits. Right on the inside of the pad.
Now the umpires are converging. As it stands, the second career triple for Ramirez. That seems to hit off of the front facing, right at the corner edge of that pad.
Can't imagine what they're looking at here.
Call on the field confirmed. Ball in play. Apologies for the mic issues.
That was simply a crew chief review. They just asked him to look at it. And on home run balls, they grant it.
So just stays in the yard. That injury report, by the way, brought to you by Elk and Elk. So now Marcy, who has lined out twice to right and center, but 2 outs. It was only the second hit off Williamson tonight.
That just shows you the strength of this Marlins catcher, Ramirez. That ball looked like a pop-up when it came off the bat. That's when you know you've got some big, strong arms and be able to hit the ball that far, that high in the air. The other way, I might add. In a ballpark, the ball doesn't carry.
He's now the tying run off third base.
Big pitch right here. You can swing the count in your favor, or you swing it in the hitter's favor. And it's now in the hitter's favor. You look up and down count management. That 1-1 pitch can really swing it one way or the other.
In on his hands a bit. You saw a rounding to the cutter from Williamson on Tuesday. Look sharper here tonight?
Yes, I think he's on top of the ball more with everything. You see that downer breaking ball that he's thrown to a lot of these right-handers back door.
2-2. Struck him out.
That's nasty.
Williamson up to the task with a tying run at third. He gets the K and keeps it 1-0 Reds. Well, starters hanging out. Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo chatting with Brandon Williamson. Big strikeout of the breaking ball. Eugenio Suarez has line to left. He's reached on error. Takes a strike from Jansen Junk. Top to third, Sanoha. Seemed to be thinking about it a bit there. One down. Well, last year, Junk dominated the Reds. He's pitched very well again tonight. But a De La Cruz double followed by the Stewart single combined on the run. The only other time the Reds saw Junk, their only hit came from Steer, who tonight has struck out looking at a fastball and grounded to third. Drives this to center. 2 down. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Reds, the official source for Cincinnati Reds gear. Will Benson has foul pop to third. He is struck out.
See, I thought Steer hit that ball well, and it went nowhere. It wasn't even a turn, tail, and run for the center fielder, Marcy.
I agree.
I mean, he barreled it.
That was 103 off the bat.
Yeah.
He's had some hard outs this year.
He has.
Tyler Stevenson has had some hard outs.
Ball just doesn't carry here unless you're Augustine Ramirez. Probably benches 400.
I think his balls in flight carry pretty much everywhere.
No doubt. Big old boy.
Benson's can too, especially when he pulls that ball to right center. Swings through a changeup, which has been an impressive sneaky pitch for Junk here tonight.
Been a great pitch for both Junk and Williamson here tonight. But it all comes with that arm action. It looks like a fastball, and then it just stops midair. There's your shot, John.
Right center field. Well, Benson gets his first base hit of the night. Maybe he's starting to heat up a little bit.
It was early on the changeup and squares this fastball. Watch him pull his hands in there. Look, those elbows come in towards the rib cage.
Tyler Stevenson, Benson a bigger lead. Look out, Reds dugout. Now, Benson's first couple of years with the Reds, he was more of a running threat. Now, granted, he played more too and was on base more, but he had 19 steals in 23. He had 16 steals in 24. Only had a couple of swipes last year. Got caught twice as well. Now, Stevenson has had his share of hard outs. He had a broken bat ground ball tonight. He had 2 line drive outs going 0 for 4 yesterday. Benson goes. Pitch called a strike. Throw is in time. They got it. Reds consider a challenge. They will not. With the lead, they try to push Benson to scoring position. Marlins defense cuts him down. summary, Brandon Williamson, 6 scoreless, twirling a 2-hitter. Jansen Junk has given up 1 run in 7 strong, the only run driven in by Sal Stewart. Now, Brandon Williamson has not yet gone 7 in the show. His career long is 6 2/3. That was done twice. Most recently, by the way, against Miami. It was in August of 2023.
Well, just having the confidence to send him back out there for the 7th should say all you need to know about how well he has pitched through the first 6 innings of the ball game here tonight.
Derek Johnson, Tito Francona have Brock Burke up in their bullpen. Marlins, it appears, have a right-hander up in theirs. Burke got his first save just yesterday. He had electric stuff. 9th inning in Texas. Swing and a miss. Man, that changeup has been great.
Both the changeup and the curveball here tonight for Williamson has been extra special.
Tyler Phillips warms for the Marlins. Fought foul by Lopez. Williamson has allowed 2 hits, a 2-out single by Lopez that grazed the glove of Ke'Bryan Hayes, was off the bat at 105. And the near homer triple by Augustin Ramirez at the top of the wall padding in right.
You look at that curveball from Williamson against right-handed batters. It's more over the top spin. He's looking for the break to drop straight down, so the hitter, the right-handed hitter, will go out to meet it and then swings over the top of it. Same type of pitch to left-handed hitters.
De La Cruz sliding stop while falling down. It takes Stewart off the bag. Infield hit for Otto Lopez.
He uses that same pitch to left-handers, but it's a little more break going away from the left-handed hitter. Just a small adjustment in delivery. Ellie does a great job to get to this ball. I don't know how he got rid of it.
And it sounded like it broke the bat of Lopez. Stevenson out to chat with Williamson. The left-handed Hernandez due up. Burke has been up for a little bit. By now is probably ready. Williamson at 85 pitches.
You got a battle on 2 fronts here. Even though Hernandez is left-handed, he scalded a ball earlier in the ball game.
That was first pitch, his first time up when he lined to left.
And you've got Otto Lopez standing at first base, who is a stolen base threat. And in a 1-0 ball game, you have to be concerned about every bit of the next 90 feet.
Lopez took 15 last year, 20 the year before that. Strike 1. And while the Reds have had their woes well documented with men in scoring position, the Marlins, when they get men there, they thrive. Lopez, larger lead. Williamson misses. There's a late shuffle by Lopez that seemed more about grabbing Williamson's attention than anything else.
Yeah, and it probably did, because that was a slide step from Williamson. It was a cutter, and he just didn't finish it. Finishes that one.
A couple of change-up strikes. He's ahead on Heriberto Hernandez. Way in. Did he get hit? Marlins considering a challenge. They will not. McLean double play position. Swing and a miss. The cutter up, strike 3.
And that cutter is just set up by the earlier changeup in the at bat. Once you swing through a changeup, you've got to almost hesitate before you take your next hack because you don't want to be out in front again. So you pause momentarily. You see that ball awfully good as it cuts, and then it just ties you up.
Connor Norby has fly to right, has line to left. Williamson lost the handle there. Ball 1.
Now this is the most that we have seen Williamson miss out of the strike zone consistently since the first inning of this ball game.
Williamson has only broken 100 pitches in a game twice a lifetime. Both came in 2023. This will be his 93rd of the outing. Driven center field. Friedel going back in deep left center. He's got it. Lopez went halfway. He scurries on back, 2 down.
Yeah, if we're at Great American Ballpark, I'm probably holding my breath there. Not in this joint. This is where fly balls go to die.
And it looks like that's going to be all for Williamson. He'll match the longest outing of his big league career. With the very talented Xavier Edwards due up, Williamson is done at 93 pitches. He's in line for the win. The Reds go to Brock Burke on back-to-back days, trying to preserve a 1-run edge. Job well done for Brandon Williamson, in line for the win. Book still open. Tying run is on. He has matched the longest outing of his young big league career. Reds lead 1-0. For a second straight day, it's Brock Burke taking on Xavier Edwards. Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. He struck out the side in a 1-2-3 ninth yesterday.
He was lighting it up yesterday. That heartbeat was skyrocketing. You got to watch Lopez. He could run here even with 2 outs. And the reason I say that he would run here is you got your best hitter at the plate from a statistical standpoint, and Lopez can steal a bag. You're trying to scrap out a run if you're Clayton McCullough any way you can.
Edwards not really a home run hitter, so if he's leading off next inning, that's not a bad thing. But his best chance at getting a run is if Lopez gets to second. Out in front of that changeup.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter who you are as a pitcher. The changeup is working in this ballpark tonight. That is nasty right there. A little fade to it.
Burke dialed it up to 100 yesterday. It's fouled away. You could read the lips of Burke after he got the last out when he was sharing with Tyler Stevenson in the moment. He knew.
My first save.
First save.
That's my first save. Give me the ball.
Burke just missed. He thought he had him.
And you can see Stevenson look right into the dugout and point towards the third base dugout as if to tell his folks it was inside. That's why I didn't tap my hat.
Lopez larger lead.
Oh, that's not.
Got him.
That is cookie cutter punch out. See ya.
Burke freezes him on a fastball, then strands his hand-me-down man. What a start for Brandon Williamson. Gives the Reds 6 2/3. A big bounce back. Just his second outing since Tommy John. Went from September of 24 to just the last week without appearing in a game. He's given the Reds a chance to win. Can they add on? They lead 1-0, 8th inning. Tyler Stevenson was at the plate when Will Benson was caught stealing to end the visiting 7th. Tyler Phillips continues to warm behind Jansen Junk.
Well, it should tell you all you need to know about Jansen Junk, that he is pitching in the 8th inning. That doesn't happen anymore. But yet he is out there because he has been pitch efficient. He is getting outs early in the count. How do you get outs early in the count? You throw the ball over the plate with something else besides the number one.
He does that a lot. Skied by Stevenson. Now that said, the impactful contact for the Reds in this game has overwhelmingly come on his few fastballs.
Yeah, and I think that's just, I mean, you got to throw some fastballs sooner or later if you're a starting pitcher. You just got to make sure you stay out of the middle of the plate.
Check swing. Williamson, by the way, tonight, 8 ground ball outs with that combination of changeup and cutter.
Just a great comeback performance. I mean, you had to have a little bit of wonder in the back of your mind. All right, was spring training just something that was...
Oh, driven left field. Steep retreat. Hernandez at the wall. Gone. The second of the road trip for Tyler Stevenson. A major add-on run, some insurance in the 8th, 2-0 Reds.
Looked like it came on another breaking ball from Junk. Stevenson had laid off of the prior breaking ball. That would indicate to me from a pitching standpoint that he saw it pretty good. Junk came back with the breaking ball. He threw it for a strike, and it ends up in the bullpen. You got a guy that doesn't commit on a nasty breaking ball on the prior pitch, you can't come back with that same pitch.
And the other big thing to me, Cowboy, Ke'Bryan Hayes 0 for 2. He pulled that ball, and in part because it's a slower breaking ball.
That was just a cement mixer rolling up there.
But that doesn't happen with Stevenson a lot. Generally, his power is right center, like it was Friday.
But it was a hanger, and it stayed middle in, and the barrel just kind of carried through the zone and put it out there. But in Jensen's Junk defense, he's not calling the pitches. They're coming from that fellow over there in the dugout.
That's right.
It's holding up the 5-4. That guy.
Strike one. There was not one fastball that at bat. That was a third straight breaking ball. Of the 6 pitches, a changeup and 5 breaking balls. Lopez. I mean, even if you could really spin it, you're eventually going to hang one, right?
Well, you are, and the reasonable expectation is that you're going to hang more pitches when you're tired in the 8th inning, when you're getting towards the end of your pitch count, and you're throwing breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball to the same hitter over and over and over again. That's the difference between sitting in the dugout calling pitches and standing on the mound. I see the hitter from the mound hold up and not even move his hands. You can't see that from the dugout, and if you say you do, you're a liar.
TJ Friedl is singled. He is 1 for 3. Bunt drop down. Junk. Not in time. Bunt base hit for TJ Friedl. He's on for a second time. Back-to-back games he has reached twice.
High bounding bunt. That's the benefits of getting the head start out of the batter's box from the left side of the plate.
A master of the bunt hit, and he chases Jansen Junk. Clayton McCullough makes the call. Tyler Phillips is in. Friedl is on. The Reds up 2 in the 8th. box still open. Tyler Phillips, the first Marlins reliever in.
That's a big old fella now.
Matt McLain. McLain has walked. He's popped out twice. Junkett 7 1/3, a new career high. First time he got an out in the 8th inning as a starter. And bounces on Ramirez, but Friedel holds. Ramirez gets to it. Now, some things to consider as this game still has not yet concluded, and over this 4-game series. Ramirez had the most pass balls and most errors by a catcher in the game last year. He only caught 600 innings. It wasn't at 1,000 like Stevenson has been.
And Phillips is a split finger power sinker guy.
Also consider that the Marlins closer, Pete Fairbanks, was placed on the paternity list. He was used as an opener against the Yankees yesterday so he could get on a plane and get to his bride to be able to welcome their child into the world. So they're down their closer tonight, and it could be for the next couple of nights as well. Marlins bullpen was great in the first 2 series, was dreadful in New York, walks galore. Friedel hops a larger lead. Strike 2. This is the contrast from 1 run and a .51 to basically a run an inning. There were 4 unearned and almost 12 walks per 9. Swing and a miss. That's a nasty breaking ball.
Don't you know, John, that there are ghosts up there at that new Yankee Stadium? They just moved from one stadium to the next.
I don't know. I don't feel the ghost there.
You ever been out on that mound?
No, sir. The old stadium. I've been on the old field a bunch.
Was there a batter at the plate? The ghosts only come out when you're on the mound and the place is packed and it's rocking, and there they are.
Ellie De La Cruz, 2 hits. He has doubled and scored.
Ellie's seen the ball very well here tonight, as he does. You mentioned it earlier, John, in this ballpark. He comes to play. And that's kind of how it is for a lot of different players. Certain ballparks, you see the ball better in that ballpark than maybe you do somewhere else.
Two and two. Phillips gained some fame early in his major league career. You may have seen the videos on TikTok, slapping himself in the face to get mentally set. He has steely focus on that mound, but so has De La Cruz, heightened here in Miami.
Well, after seeing Ellie swing over the top of that slider, I got to believe you're going to throw it again.
Two. Bounces home. Friedel takes off. Ramirez no shot. Alert sprint to second by Friedel.
And he did throw another breaking ball, but that was not the slider. That was a curveball. I got to believe they're going to call that a wild pitch.
I would think so. So now a chance with the man in scoring position. Hard ground ball right to the shortstop Lopez. Tyler Stevenson begins it with a bang. Home run. QB1. The breathing room to help out Brandon Williamson and company. 2-0 Reds. Brandon Williamson got it done in a big way today.
Really did, John, and it was from the get-go. Seemed like once he got settled in after that first inning, or really mid-first inning, he just started to pound the bottom of the strike zone with both the curveball and the changeup. It was not a whole lot of cutters until he actually moved deeper into the ball game. But boy, that changeup was just extra special here tonight. Marlins just couldn't figure it out.
StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Tony Santillan is in.
Well, Santillan looks like his normal self. He doesn't have that 98-mile-an-hour velocity yet, but he has pitched exactly as he did last year, and that is pristine.
Liam Hicks stands in to pinch hit. First pitch, Dane Myers in defensively in center, the former Marlin. Myers is in the game. It looks like Steer is out. TJ Friedel has moved over to left. So Hicks, who's had a solid feel for the zone, hitting for Jimenez, flies out.
Yeah, when that ball went up, looked like he caught it good. Not here, not tonight.
Fastball strike. Sanoja has grounded out twice. One of those a very nice play by Ke'Bryan Hayes.
You know, it's interesting. You watch Pagan and Santillan, they're not throwing in the upper 90s like we saw at the end of last year. But what they're doing is they're pushing their pitches to the edges of the plate, still throwing strikes, still mixing it up, but most importantly, getting outs at crucial times. And I believe that once you get that release point and that kind of eye focus to the edges of the plate, sooner or later as we move along in this season, you're going to get that velocity back. And as you get it back, guess where those pitches are going to be? right on the edges, and it's going to make you even more difficult to hit.
Owen Casey stands in to pinch hit for Austin Slater.
Former Cub. I think the Cubs thought that this kid was a terrific hitter, and he is. But where they had the issue is there was no place to play him from a defensive standpoint.
Came over in the Yu Darvish trade from the Padres to the Cubs, and he was in the Edward Cabrera deal to Miami. That was this past January.
If you're going to be an everyday player as a left-handed hitter, there's got to be a defensive spot that you can play, but probably most importantly, you've got to hang in there against left-handed pitching. Oh. That's just a textbook breaking ball. I mean, start in the middle. I want a commitment. And as you commit, then I'm just going to joystick it to the left.
It seemed both Santillan and Pagan were down yesterday after each had pitched in back-to-back games. Now trying to get a couple of left-handed pinch hitters to bridge the way to the ninth. Casey, a top 40 prospect in the game. And he draws a walk. A tying run will come to the plate, and it's a dangerous power bat. The backstop, Augustine Ramirez. He drew the only other walk issued by Reds pitching tonight and nearly tied it with a triple off the top of the pad in right field. Elevated by Santillan, who dialed that one up to 95. Blew that one by him.
There's a little bit of an undercut or an uppercut from Augustine, and that fastball that's just above the belt, he goes under it as he did on the prior pitch.
No doubles at third. Struck him out. The best gas we have seen from Santillan this year. Dispatches of the power threat. A strong eighth for Tony Santillan as the Reds have a 2-0 lead now in the ninth. Marlins used a lot of their bench, so they have multiple defensive changes. Sal Stewart leads it off. RBI hit and a steal. He is 1 for 3. Hicks stays in the game at first. Sanoja moves third to second. Norby goes first to third. Casey stays in the game at right. And he'll be tested. Stewart slugs this deep right center. Casey in steep retreat with a hop brings it in. A long out for the Miami kid.
Gave it a ride. Casey didn't know where the wall was.
Eugenio Suarez. Broken bat. Dribbled to Sanoja. 2 down. Brief word now from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at MVG. With over 2,200 of the best gaming machines, we got you covered.
Dane Myers came on defensively last half inning. He gets his first plate appearance against the team he broke into the big leagues with. As familiar with this park as any Red. Yanks back the bunt. Two and 0. Emilio Pagan is up in the Reds bullpen.
.20 splitter.
Four-pitch walk.
So you're down 2. Guy's taking his first at bat of the night. 2-0 count. The ball's going nowhere here tonight, and you throw a 2-0 split.
Called by the dugout. Downstairs to Will Benson, who has singled. He is 1 for 3. Myers had 18 steals for Miami last year, caught just 5 times.
.20 split is what you throw Aaron Judge. Think about that.
And Myers has 10 career homers. Myers takes off delayed steal. He read that. Safe.
See, I think that's why you can't afford to get behind in the count, and you've got to make Myers swing the bat because of his danger on the base paths.
Reds have had a few delayed steals already this year.
They work.
It's now a chance with a man in scoring position and a 2-1 count. A 3-1 count. Hung and stung. Great pick, Sanoja, the Gold Glover.
That is a big time play.
That robs a run, the lead at 2. Emilio Pagan is on, trying to close it out as the Reds seek their 4th straight win.
Cast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Join the Reds for Budweiser 321 Tuesdays. Every Tuesday home game, you can enjoy select $3 beers, $2 hot dogs, $1 ice cream cups. Get tickets now, reds.com/Tuesdays. Emilio Pagan down and in miss, facing Jacob Marcy. Start of the day, David Bednar held the lead outright with 4 saves this year. Pagan looking for his 4th. Marcy has stung the ball twice, couple of line drive outs tonight. Pops this up. Stewart. Help from McLean in foul ground. And it's McLean with Stewart alongside against the netting, makes the play.
Bailed him out. Always in the right place at the right time. Matt McLean.
And remember, if that ball hits net, it's then no play. So he gets it right in front of that netting. Otto Lopez. Couple of hits tonight. One true infield hit, the other a hard bouncer that just grazed the glove of Ke'Bryan Hayes.
And you say to yourself, well, what is Stewart doing? Is he in the wrong? Is he in the wrong there? No.
ABS Challenge brought to you by T-Mobile.
Calls confirmed. Miami has 1 challenge remaining.
In that instance for Stewart, you go until you're called off. You're going after the baseball until somebody has a better angle at it.
A 1. Grounded to short, De La Cruz. So Pagan of the Reds and out away. Hernandez, the last man standing, asks for time before he stands in. He is lined to left. Bounced into a force fielder's choice, struck out swinging.
And that home run by Tyler Stevenson in the 8th inning to lead it off gives Pagan all the room he needs to challenge every hitter that comes to the plate.
Strike one.
In a one-run ball game, you've got to be a little careful just in case somebody happens to jump on one. But in a two-run game, here it is. You can't beat me with a solo shot.
Reds trying to remain perfect in games decided by 2 runs or less.
And that was a point of contention last year.
Last year, out of 30 major league teams, they ranked 22nd in win percentage in games decided by 2 or less. They have been baseball's best a week and a half into this campaign. 1-2. The pitching for the Reds has proven itself more than legitimate. Tonight it was Brandon Williamson, 6 2/3 scoreless, combining with, as of now, 3 relievers on a 3-hitter. Appeal, no go. Full count. Luz Hernandez, Norby is on deck, could come to the plate as the tying run. Popped up. Stevenson gives a look. That is into the seats. Grounded softly to short. De La Cruz up with it. The Reds have won 4 in a row. Emilio Pagan closes the door. Cincinnati is off to its best 10-game start in half a decade.
Another shutout, John. How about that? I mean, we're not even. I mean, that's 10 games, and the Reds have shut out the opponent 3 times already. Wow.
A 3-hitter here tonight. Tightrope walking. The Reds seemingly don't need a net. What will they do when their offense really gets humming? The pitching has been pure. Sal Stewart in his homecoming, a big part of it, including the RBI hit that got the Reds on the board, gave them the 1 run they needed here tonight.
And again, you're making all the defensive plays. You're pitching well, timely hitting. Say that gets it done.
Well, Cincinnati championed by its pitching and opportune offense. A 2-0 shutout here in the Miami opener. We have post-game still to come. We'll break it down. Word from Tito and the clubhouse. Cincinnati, another shutout success. 2-0.